A very good Wednesday morning to you. As you know, you're watching Y in the Morning on Y254 channel, and it is Queen's Wednesday, where we're all about the girl child. However, with me in studio today, I hope you did, by the way, I hope you did catch that interview with one It's Barrymore, because I had a very interesting, what I carried home with me was pretty simple. Deworm your dogs, because there are adult tapeworms inside there. That was interesting. I didn't know that we need to deworm our dogs. I didn't know that, but now I know. Anyway, you're watching Y254. They're on Twitter, we're at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y in the Morning. On Facebook, we're at Y254. And with me in studio, I have another queen who goes by the name of Miss Jordan Morede. Say good morning to the people.
Good morning.
Yes, and Miss Jordan Morede represents the women in sports. And she's one of ours. From Shama's Rugby Foundation, she's a representative. And she's here to let you know more about this particular foundation, because it's more than rugby. All right, so let us know a bit of background information about this organization.
Sure. So Shama's was started in 2012, but prior to that, the founder had a 6-year-old son, and he was very interested in rugby. So he found a group of boys who were playing at Queen's, and he brought his snacks. He came for rugby, and because he had snacks, he quickly made so many friends. Well, long story short, the program that was running there was kind of phased out. So his dad, our founder, is the one who kind of adopted the program. And then in 2012 founded it. We added a feeding program to the center in Queens, and in a few weeks the kids went from 15 to 60, 70 because of the feeding program. So since 2012 we've now expanded to centers in Nairobi, in Mathare, Eastlands, Kibera, and Kangemi. We have Tatu City, which has spread us to Kiambu County, and over the next few years, 5 years, 10 years in our long-term plan,
it will go to the other.
We hope to expand to Western, to Nyanza, to Rift Valley. So right now, kind of, we're in a launching direction for where we want to go.
All right.
But yeah, Shamas was started with a small family vision, and I think since then our family has expanded, and so we have a much bigger plan for the kids.
But today's Strength of a Woman, let's get to know you personally. You played rugby, Jordan, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, let us know about your journey in sports. And that's not the only sport you played, yeah?
Yeah, no.
Yes.
In high school, I played volleyball, which maybe some people don't consider a sport. I don't know, but it was a very good one.
Why don't they consider volleyball a sport? Excuse me.
Yeah. I was also a cheerleader when I was in primary school, which is also an interesting time of life.
You were a cheerleader.
I played tennis. Yeah.
So you can do the whoo.
Yeah, I think those things are outdated now. But I've also played tennis. I enjoyed basketball, but never played organized for that. So I came to know rugby when I was in university in the U.S. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster County. So it's interesting, we were talking about the Maasai and their livestock. We also had lots of livestock on the farm. But now, yeah, so now I started playing rugby in 2010. What I loved about it was so different from anything that I have ever done before. Any shape, size, athletic ability, we need everyone on the field to do everything. So I started playing 15s in 2010 at my university. And really, I think the large amount of my rugby experience or career journey has happened in Kenya. So 2010, I met rugby. I played for my university. When I finished, I actually came to Nairobi to do my master's studies at USIU. So I have a master's in counseling psychology. And that's where I really kind of found the passion for rugby. At USIU, I worked with the men's team as their team manager. I trained with them, went with them to their matches, and through that kind of, we started a women's program at the university, and that was an interesting challenge. We didn't advertise it as rugby for women. We advertised it as fitness and meeting friends, and slowly over time, you strategically introduce a ball here, you introduce touch rugby, and
that's
before
clever.
you know it, you have a program. Yeah, so other universities like KU also followed suit. I think Nairobi University also did some dabbling with the game. So it was nice to see us be able to start something, introduce a new thing, because when you talk about rugby, most people just think of the physical contact. They don't think of
and we think of men.
The ladies playing. Yeah. So yeah, for me, my journey has started as playing. In 2015, I was able to also represent Kenya for the Uganda Games. So that was the last time we had we had a national team for the 15-a-side. So I traveled with them, and I was part of the squad. So that was also a unique experience.
All right.
Yeah, and so I've worked on the men's side as well, team managing for Impala last season, which was also very interesting, working with the women's program there. And so for me, rugby, whether it's been coaching, whether it's been playing, whether it's working in management, even doing work with the Kenya Rugby Union, you know, it's very interesting. There's so much, and it's so rich, and knowing the women who play the game, you know, the ones who were here when it was started in the nation, and the ones who are still playing now, it's a unique experience. And we talk about the strength of a woman.
Yes.
I don't think there's any other, you know, maybe there's a greater strength of a rugby player, you know, not just physically, but emotionally. And there's a lot of challenges even that come up with that. But
let's talk about the challenges. Don't run away from the challenges. Let's talk about these challenges.
Sure. I think one is just the stigma, you know, around the game. Like it's seen as maybe as a men's game. Globally, women's rugby is very popular. You have teams that are, you know, taking up a lot. And one thing that I think is interesting is in women's rugby, it's nothing like women are fragile. You know, if you think about it, women are naturally strong. We're meant to give birth, to raise kids, to, you know, to do a lot with our hands. And so now rugby, it's also not just a physical sport. You have to think it's a mental sport. There's, you know, when you have skills and you combine that with knowledge of the game, how it's played, it's fun, it's interactive. What we see so much within Shamas with our young ladies is even as they're building up, when they learn skills, they're so creative in how they play the game. And it's not just like, you know, you just follow one step after the next, but really rugby is a way of self-expression.
Also, women actually do give it a different vibe once they're on the field. They have some new things that we've not seen the men do.
Yes. I mean, I think within men's rugby, you know, like with ice hockey, everyone looks for the big fight. With men's rugby, we look for those big hits. I might give the guy a stool and he flies everywhere. Those are cool. But now the essence, some of the, what do you call it, like just the art of rugby, if you will, it can be very beautiful. Moving the ball, finding the spaces, you know, doing a lot of things, and those require skills, yes, but it also requires you to have an open mind about things. So I think it's nice. There are some very big women that play the game, very strong women who play the game. So you won't miss those big fights. Yeah. So you won't miss those big contact things, but there's also now the other side of, you know, how the game is played and why it's played, and kind of even the values behind it. I don't know if most people know, but like within World Rugby, there are basic values that motivate the game, like respect, sportsmanship, teamwork, integrity. And when you embrace those values and you apply them to how you play the game and you apply them to yourself outside of the game, I think for us ladies, it's very empowering.
Amazing. I don't even think I have anything more to add to that. But because you're representing Shamas Foundation, you have this hashtag going on, More Than Rugby, and you want to involve even the boys. So let us know a bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So as a foundation, we work with both boys and girls from 6 to 21. We have our age grade teams that will go, they play international matches or international matches with international schools and things like that. From, I think it was 2013, 2014, 2015, we took our under 13s on tour to Bristol Rugby. We have partners in the UK, and so that was also a very good experience for them. But what we focus on primarily, Shamas had started as rugby development purely, but as you've mentioned, we have this hashtag going that's more than rugby. So with our 4 pillars of the foundation, we have rugby development. We also have welfare. So we want to look at what's going on with the kid at home, what's going on with the kid outside of rugby, how is the family set up. Because of the locations of where we're working with, we have a lot, I would say the majority of our students have single parent homes. Maybe they come from areas of extreme poverty. Even just their housing situation, maybe the safety is an issue, maybe the health is an issue. So we have a team of social workers that work to see what are the challenges, how can we meet them, how can we partner with other organizations and NGOs. So welfare is our second pillar. The third pillar that we have going is education and scholarships. We have individual donors, we have corporates who are interested in what happens to these students after
Who are your
primary
donors,
school.
by the way? Because that's a common question. Who is funding this?
Yeah, the day-to-day projects are run basically. We have individual and we have corporate donors in Kenya, and we also have some abroad in Europe. Now, as we expand, obviously, and as we really feed into these four pillars. Without funding, you know, our dreams and ideas will just be that. So the funding is really important. So for me, like guys who are interested in the 4 pillars that we are having, in what Shamas is doing, as we go throughout the interview, we can see how to get connected. Because really, if you're not about rugby, you can definitely assist in the other things we're doing.
Okay, you can even become a donor.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, I might just become a donor.
Yeah, that would
strength
be
of a woman.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the government. What is the government's input in this? What influence do they have? Yeah.
Sure. So just to finish on the 4 pillars very quickly,
yes,
the
yes,
last
please.
one, sorry,
Yeah.
the last one now, and why I'm so passionate about it is because it's my project, it's my area of expertise, but it's the life skills and counseling.
Okay.
So in addition to the rugby and the welfare and the education, we have now life skills and counseling. So what we want to do is we want to see how do we assist this rugby player or this student holistically so that when they're in the pitch, they can do everything they need to do. When they're out of the pitch, what else is it that they need to do? And so the government has actually, not directly through finances, been able to assist us, but indirectly through the Ministry of Education. They allow us to coach rugby and to teach the life skills in primary schools and secondary schools within each of the settlements that we have our centers. So being able to build a relationship through the correct channels with the Ministry of Education, with primary schools, has also been good for us because it allows us to be more in the community. So I think something that the government could be more interested in is maybe allowing them to finance things directly for different projects that we have, or either connect us to NGOs and other government programs that are doing similar things that could be of assistance to us. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. So how do people get connected? Like if I'm a young person at home and I'm interested in getting connected with Shamas Rugby Foundation, tell us, let them know your social media handles and how they can get to you if they want to be part of the organization.
Shamas Rugby Foundation, it's on Shamas Rugby. .co.ke is our website. We have Twitter handles, we are on Facebook, and we are on Instagram. So those ones they can follow us on there. We actually on November 3rd, we're having a fundraising tournament, which will be set up as the Touch Rugby tournament.
Oh, a fundraising tournament.
Yes.
Okay.
So it will be it's at the Public Service Club, and it will be a great opportunity for guys to get involved, whether you play rugby or not, to come and check out what Shamas is doing, to get connected with current partners, to learn more about the programs that we're having and how you guys can also get involved.
Okay, so as we conclude, we'd like to understand, what message do you have for the girl child outside there who is looking and being like, oh, rugby, I can play rugby? Any words of advice, any stereotypes you've encountered that you'd like to counter back? Yes.
Sure. So what I can say for us ladies is that it's always great to try something new. Rugby, maybe it sounds like a big scary concept and you think maybe I can never do, yeah? And I think when you have ideas like you can't do something, that's the first step in the right direction, because you can actually do it. You can try it. You can see. For me, I had no clue what it was, and when I started, it just took off, and now it's actually a main passion in my life. So one thing I can encourage you is to think outside of the box. If you have an idea, maybe that idea is not supported by the culture or the norms that we have in our society, but don't hide it. Don't hide it. Keep that idea alive. As life goes, see how you keep that going. You know, maybe you have to put it on hold. Maybe you have to wait until a later time. But don't let those ideas and those dreams end, because when you get connected with them, there's no telling where it will take you.
All right. So don't let the ideas go. If you have new ideas, and try new things.
Yes.
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much, Miss Jordan Muredi, for coming today, representing Shamas Women Rugby Foundation. And we'd just like to understand from you, how has been your experience here in Kenya? Because you're called Jordan Muredi. You know, like I'm sure someone at home is like, oh, that Mzungu is called Muredi?
Yes.
Yeah. So how's been your experience? You're married to a Kenyan man?
Yes, this Mzungu is is Cod Morathi. I'm on year 2 of marriage. Things are great. I have a great husband that's supporting me in everything. So, yeah, like I said, I came to Kenya, and some few years ago, I've been here on and off for about 5 years. And yeah, so for me, I think it's been interesting. I met my husband through rugby.
Oh,
yes, yes. So ladies, there are good men. You have to take time and find them.
I see. Maybe you should play some rugby and then we can meet.
Yes, there are good ones there. Yeah, so don't lose hope. But no, yeah, my husband and I met through our rugby partners and connections, and so it's been a great journey. I think.
All right.
Rugby is a tough game. I think marriage is also a tough game, but when you're committed to it, it can be a very beautiful thing. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's some encouragement for the queens out there. I am Hilda Wadidi, and you've been watching Strength of Woman. Don't go anywhere. One Kalamival is coming up next.